Howdy, y'all. Attempt number 2 after I forgot to record Anna's audio this fine day. How is
Like an
everybody?
hour.
For we talked about an hour and a half. We had some great laughs, some great stories. We covered a lot of the nature of human existence, and now it's all gone. But so how was that? How was Comic Con?
Comic Con was mid, as the young kids would say.
The young kids, huh? The news terminology mid.
All right. Anyways, my point being is it was mid only because like I felt like there should have been more good panels. I mean, like even though like there were panels, I just not a lot of them that I was interested in, and then even the ones that I were interested in were really hard to get into because if anybody knows, they're doing like this whole online reservation thing, and
Hmm.
me being a working girl, freaking forgot there was reservations, so I did
Oof.
not do these reservations. And my friend who was lucky enough to like have VIP didn't even have to do reservations. So
Wow.
that being said, this year did not go to any of the panels, and it just wasn't a lot of great stuff as it was previously. Maybe like all the glamour and like stars that I was used to seeing just wasn't there anymore this time around, or just like it just kind of fell off. Maybe like
Hmm.
especially since like if we think about it, right around this time is like the writer strikes and everything like that. So maybe that's also kind of sort of the reason why it kind of fell off.
Oh, that's a good
Um,
point.
yeah. So who knows? Like I thought like there was some cool things. Like look, I made a
Oh, look at
glass
that.
coaster etching of the Straw Hat Jolly Roger.
Wow.
So I did that, and that was cool. But I feel like this is the only cool thing I did, except maybe meeting like Tom Hiddleston and Dante Bosco. But like not to brag or
No,
anything
no,
like
oh my god.
that.
I met Loki. He shook my hand. Whatever.
Loki was, I mean, he was. I mean, okay, it's like literally a production line of how we meet him, as it is with every other celebrity like that I've done photo op with, right? It's always like a production line. Like you like drop your stuff off, you go in, and then you say hi, line up, take your photo, one photo only. Doesn't you better make that one photo good too,
Mm-hmm.
and then you like leave, pick up your stuff, and go. Like literally, the whole interaction is like about maybe a minute or less with whoever you're seeing, which honestly, it's like I understand. It's honestly is a very understandable situation because like we have to also consider like how many people are lining up for to see him,
Oh yeah.
and he's standing there like this entire time, so you gotta be considerate about a guy who's standing there probably for like a couple hours, not maybe like 2, 3 hours, maybe
I
not
mean, that's
even.
still pretty
Who knows?
exhausting, especially like meeting like 5 people every minute or something.
It's every I think like the max you can have in a photo is 4 people.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, so the max you can have is 4 people, but I've seen people who just like individually just went for themselves. You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
Yeah,
I don't know if I would do that.
I know the cost is ridiculous, but if you split it amongst 3 other people, it's not that bad.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I think like, you know, Tom Hiddleston, very nice guy. I'm sure he's exhausted, but he was like at least gentleman, very nice. Then I expect him to be 6 freaking 2 or whatever he was. Like the dude is
It's a
tall,
big
and
man.
like back. Well, I won't say big. I will just say tall, and like because he's skinny too, so that makes him
Oh.
look even more taller than what I thought he would be. And I'm just like, how does this sizing work? Is everybody in Marvel really tall like this?
Yes.
Because, like,
I think
I
so.
mean, really?
I think so. I think everyone there is at least like 5'10", like to 6'4".
Because, like, I'm just kind of like, you're really tall. That means everyone else in the shoot was, like, either, like, spaced differently with the camera, so like they look taller at same size or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Either way, I met the guy. Did not expect him to be so tall, and then two, did not expect him to be British for some reason. Like, I don't know why my brain, like, it didn't register to me that he was gonna be British until he like opened his mouth and was like had the British accent, asking how we were, shook our hands, and then said cheers when we left. And I'm
Wait,
just like,
does he speak with an accent in Loki? Like, is he not?
no, that's what I'm saying.
So you just brain farted what he would sound like.
Yeah, I did. Like, I brain farted and like everything about him because I was like not expecting anything like that. Like, I did not expect his height, did not expect that he was British. Like, I think like Mark Hamill, like I knew what he was gonna sound like. I knew what like everything like more things about Mark Hamill than I did about Tom Hiddleston.
Right.
I don't know why. Like it just was just the way it was, you know?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess you really only know him from like the one role, right?
Yeah, I only know him from Loki, and that like, and I guess like that being said, like I was very much happy to meet him and stuff like that, and like I definitely did would have chosen him over Chris Evans, who was also there doing photo op at the same time. Um,
Could have
don't
met
shake your head at me.
America. Could have met Captain America and his ass.
I mean, he's just not my like character. He's not my type cup of tea in a sense of I
Mm.
guess of explaining things. Like I prefer a character like Loki who is like
Snake.
who's yeah, pretty like if he has to be a Hogwarts house, he's gonna be Slytherin, and that's me. Okay, like
Yeah.
legit, that's me.
Only Slytherins,
Um,
no Gryffindors.
no Gryffindors, none of that shit, none. But like yeah, so it's just kind of like I would prefer him. And then I think like, but like thinking in like the bigger picture scheme of things, like I don't think there's much of anybody who is in Marvel that I would like want to like absolutely meet. Like
Mm-hmm.
I would have been so much. I think like I would have definitely hands down, without a question of doubt, if um what's his name again?
Who? Chadwick?
No,
Benedict?
brain for Star Wars.
Mark Hamill?
No, I meant
Oh,
Mark.
Ewan McGregor.
Yeah,
We did
Ewan
we did the
McGregor.
same fucking thing in the last recording.
I always brain fart names and faces. Like, if there's one thing you have to know about me is I'm terrible with names and faces. But him, I would have definitely met him hands down, like so
Yeah.
fast. Like, he's iconic
Do you
in his own.
Well, yeah, in a lot of ways, he's a great actor. Would you have said hello there to him, or do you think he would have said hello there to you? Like in that General Kenobi way?
I hope he would say it to me first.
Would you like fangirl if he was like, hello there?
I think I would. Like
A little
when
bit.
I met Mark, when I met Mark Hamill, I kind of like internally fangirled a lot too. Like, I I was like, so I guess like I have okay. Hear me out. Is nothing against
Okay.
like Marvel actors, Marvel characters, or anything like that. It's just something about like Star Wars that like is such a cult of like like it's pretty much a cult for the older generation, right? But then also
Mm-hmm.
like it garnered a lot of like great sci-fi's, great like world building and everything like that. It has more history than the like Marvel Cinematic Universe is
So,
what I'm gonna say.
so like you think it has had more like cultural impact?
Yes.
Okay. I think that's I think that's fair to say, but also like kind of a crazy statement in its own right, because like Marvel
Right.
has all this movie, all this money they've made from the movies, but like yeah, maybe like when it's all said and done and they stop making Marvel movies, maybe like it will just kind of be a blip compared to Star Wars.
Because like if we think about it, like Star Wars stopped making movies after
I wish.
like these Well,
I
okay.
wish they stopped.
Yeah, I feel like the sequel is kind of unnecessary in its own like little ranty way that we can eventually
Oh,
get
that could be
into.
a
Like,
whole fucking podcast.
I know, I agree. But like, I think like for its time of when the prequel and the original series came out, it was something else, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
the whole world that they built around was something else. Like the kind of like costuming, the like act, like I mean, the acting is kind of like
It's
whatever, but
okay.
like it was okay for its time. But it was just like the idea of like such a different sci-fi fantasy type of thing, and I just think like the concept of everything about it was so great. And then like they did the original three, and then a couple like however many years it took to make the prequel,
Mm-hmm.
and then like they kind of didn't really make much of anything after that, up
Yeah.
until like Disney acquired it.
Yep. And
That's what I'm saying.
yeah, no, like even like yeah, like the movies came out like in the 70s and like early 80s, and then like it just like chilled for a while, but like everyone knew what Star Wars was. Like
Yeah, because it's so iconic.
yeah, everyone had like some Star Wars toys and shit and like
Like the lightsaber, you're not like
lightsaber, yep.
that's so like everything. There's like things about Star Wars that's iconic, as opposed to like Marvel. It's like don't get me wrong, Marvel is iconic. Marvel and DC's are iconic on its own right because they're like the two comic books that introduced us to so many of like the home like namestay like characters and everything like that.
Yeah.
But like I think like when we take it outside of the comic and talk about just like the Marvel Cinematic Universe or the DC Cinematic Universe, it is not the same as it is with the comics.
Yeah.
Like, come on, like DC was like such a fucking flop for a lot of their movies.
They're coming back. They're rebooting with James Gunn, and you know, my hopium is real high right now.
Sure, I mean, I guess like, what was a good DC movie?
Like recent, well, it depends. If you count like the DCEU, I would say I don't think I've seen any of them. Wait, no, it's the Suicide Squad with James Gunn. That was good.
Yeah, that was decent compared to the freaking original one.
Yeah, well, I didn't watch that.
Oh, you didn't watch the original? The original was like I watched it in theaters and I was like, damn, I should have not watched it in theaters and just like pirated or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like it was just not worth it.
No, you feel like you got ripped off.
Yeah, because everything about it was just like, oh, I'm trying to be edgy, but like
I hate that
really,
shit.
yeah, yeah. I'm like, what are we doing with Joker? Like Joker is like there but not there. But all we do know is that he like freaking abuses Harley, and I'm just like,
He was method acting.
sure, method acting, whatever you want to call it. In the end of the day, like my point is DC did not make that big of an impact in culturally.
So it did like independently, I feel like, because the Batman movies, like the Christopher Nolan Batman movies, were great. The cartoons
Yeah.
in the 90s were great.
Yes.
But then like when they tried to make it an actual thing, they
bombed it.
they completely fumbled the bag and kept fumbling it until there was no bag left.
I agree. Like the Dark Knight series was good. It was like very cinematically well done. But that's because you had literally Christopher Nolan like directing
Yeah.
how it should have gone. And I think like, but then Marvel like had a pretty decent stint going when they first started out too. Like I can barely remember if I watched like any of the Hulk movies. Probably
Well, there's only the one Hulk movie.
no, just more.
What do you mean? Like before MCU?
I
have
don't
no
remember.
knowledge
Like to
of
be
that.
honest, like Hulk was not really my jam anyway. And then you have Iron Man that I did watch. That was just I watched. I feel like I watched it, but I wasn't like that into Iron Man. And then like, but like my point is like it's just kind of like there was so much build up to lead up to the Avengers, right?
Yeah.
there was like a lot you have to like watch to just lead you up to the Avengers.
Which is
And
like it's a lot for the time. Now it's like you look at what you need to watch for the Avengers, it's like you need to watch like 3 movies. And like now that's nothing. To watch the next Avengers movie, you got to watch like 5 TV shows, like 23 movies. Like you got to do
yeah,
everything.
because back then they rolled out like what one Iron movie every like 4 years or some shit like
Yeah,
that.
cuz the next movie wasn't like a guarantee. So they had to be
Right.
like self-contained things.
And that's why it's like it was different. I liked it that way where it felt like self-containment and then eventually lead up to like what you have to lead up to. Like Thor was also its own thing.
Yeah, the
Who else
Thor.
was
Well, there was the Incredible Hulk movie, Captain
Yeah, and then
America.
oh yeah, Captain America, Spider-Man was like legit its own
Yeah,
thing.
Spider-Man was its own like thing on its second reboot at that point.
Yeah. Like I think like that's what I'm trying to say is just kind of like it took a lot. Like it took a lot for the MCU to like get some cultural impact as opposed to like the Star Wars that was like
You just released a
iconic on its
movie,
own.
and they're like,
Yeah,
"Whoa!"
yeah, exactly. Like, whoa, look at that double lightsaber. Like it was just kind of like,
That double
yeah,
lightsaber, fucking like I
yeah.
dreamt about that fight scene in episode 1 for like years. It was so
It
I
was
could
really
probably
good.
like perform some of it. Like that's how much I
It was
thought
so
about
good.
it.
It was so good. But
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to say. It's just kind of like if I could have met Obi-Wan,
Yeah.
that would have been different. I would have like I would have like the giddiness in my heart the like when I met Mark Hamill, you
Yeah.
know? Like not to say like I did not enjoy meeting Loki. Like it's just like a different level in terms of like where my interest lies, you know? And that
Yeah.
being said, like Comic Con could have just been so much better if they gave me Obi-Wan.
Yeah. Well, did he? They tried to, right? Did he cancel like last minute or something?
Yeah, he kind of I think he they got him and then he ended up canceling. I don't know if it was like last minute, but like it was like a couple of months ago before
Oh,
Comic.
so they could have got another person.
I think it was just hard in general with the writer's strike and all
Right.
that.
Yeah, that does make sense.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
because yeah, usually if they have stuff to promote, they'll send more people.
But like, and then you have like okay, like aside from just like who they got as guests and everything, like the panels and stuff like that, like Saturday just lacked so hard this year compared to like all the previous Saturdays. And Saturdays are supposed to be their biggest day just because
Yeah.
that's when like, it's a weekend, it's the first weekend, and then like, that's when you should have all the like big panels, all the like big things to do. But like this year just felt like all I did was just like roam the floors and like check out
Hmm.
merch, check out like booths and things like that for like hours, and that's it.
Jeez, there was no like music shows or anything like of
Music
interest.
shows.
Well, like doesn't like conventions like usually have like some concerts sometimes too? I don't know if
Well, they did
Comic Con
have
does.
no, not really. But they did have like the Saw musical panel or something like that on
Okay.
a Friday or something.
Okay. You know, I would go.
I didn't know about it. I don't remember which day it was, but I ended up finding out about it like afterwards. But like, yeah, there was like the Saw musical, and that was a panel. I don't know if it was a panel or something. I don't know, but like there was that, and then
Hmm.
I was just like, this is interesting. That
Yeah.
we have a Comic Con.
I guess I would. Yeah, it's something to do. I would, I would check it out. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's lame. Like, so like, do you know off the top of your head like an example of like a panel from the past that you enjoyed versus like a panel from this year that like just sounds like not cool?
So a panel from the past that I think I absolutely enjoyed was when it was the panel for the Miles Morales Spider-Man movie.
Ooh,
The
okay.
first one. It was the first one, and they ended up showing us 30 minutes of the movie.
Oh,
Yeah, but it was like unrendered. Like so there was like a lot of like um it was not like perfect and stuff like
Yeah.
that. There was like, a lot of like scenes that didn't have
Well, that's
colors. It
still
was just
like cool. Were you a
it was
test
still
audience?
no. I think they usually do that. A lot of times in Comic Con, they purposely do that for like the panels to like just continue garnering interest.
Oh, okay.
So for that movie in particular, they allowed us to see like about 30 minutes, and then I think I also went to like a Black Mirror panel where they also released a little bit of like an episode, and
Mm-hmm.
then so a lot of times in Comic Con when you find like movies or shows that you're like really interested in, they do like release like a little bit of the episodes. Bleach was another one. Chainsaw Man was another one where they all released like I think Bleach they released the first episode, or was this Chainsaw Man that they released the first episode? One or the other, but either way, both of them released like part of the first episode or something like that for us to
Okay.
watch. So a lot of times, yeah, Comic Con does do that kind of jazz. This year I didn't really go to any of them just because
Yeah, like
none of
what did the panels like sound like? Like what
them.
kind of things did they offer?
So this year there was like a Chris Evans panel where he was only like usually panels last like an hour, but like this Chris Evans panel only lasted 30 minutes. And I think I was told by Mark that he just like it was just kind of sort of like he just talked about himself, what he's up to, like said he was like talking about his dog and that he recently got married, you know.
So it's just like a hey Chris Evans, how are you panel.
Yeah, it literally kind of was, and it was like for 30 minutes before he left to go do the photo ops. And
Interesting.
then yeah, and then I think there was a Guardians of the Galaxy panel. There was a Final Fantasy panel that I did not know
Ooh,
about,
I would have went
but
to
I
that.
also couldn't. Me too, but I also couldn't go to it just because like it was a Friday, I think it
Oh.
was. Yeah.
Hmm.
I heard that was pretty good because it was just talking about the Final Fantasy VII remake stuff, and then yeah, there was like maybe like a handful ish about panels that I like could have been good if I went, but like there was like now this whole system that like if it's like a main stage thing then you have to do reservations ahead of time and all these things like that, and then I forgot to do it because I'm busy with work trying to save lives and shit,
Yeah, they
and
should
it's
consider that.
like I think there's some of them where you can just like do the queue line and everything like that,
Hmm.
which yeah, I could have done, but I think like at the end of the day, I just wasn't interested. Like none of the panels were interesting enough for me to be doing it. There was a Good Burger panel where,
A good burger panel?
yeah, the Good Burger movie is coming out.
Oh, really? I was just about to say, who the fuck is like clamoring for a good burger panel?
I mean I don't know, but like
Is it like,
both the actors were there.
so they're doing another good burger movie with Keenan and Kel?
Yeah,
That's interesting. I had no
yeah,
idea.
and they were both there at Comic Con doing the panel.
Wow.
So that could have been a good one for me to go to if I remember that it was happening.
Oh my god. All right, so this is part of this falls on you.
It kind of does. It kind of does. But at least, like, I feel like Good Burger was like I remember the movie, but I don't like. I don't think I remember enough to like kind of justify me queuing in line for
No,
it. You
I
know what I
wouldn't
mean?
like wake up early to like sign up for a good burger panel.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just kind of like I like Good Burger from what I remember about it, but I don't think I remember enough about it to be like, yeah, I'm gonna go to that
You don't
panel.
have burning questions for Keenan and Kel.
No,
Jeez.
I mean like, don't get me wrong. They were like really funny from what I remember, but like it's just not it for me. And then
Yeah.
so I think like that's like some of the panels that I can think of that were like kind of sort of there this year, but not really. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I guess none of them made an actual impression if like you
yeah.
can only think of like the good burger panel.
And then like even aside from the panels, like the vendors were like all like it was the same stuff. Like all the vendor shit was the
Yeah.
same stuff this year. And I could not find Bochi to Rock shit for my life, even though I like literally walked up and down every
Which
like
is a hit
every single
show.
yeah, it's a very good. Okay, if nobody has watched Bochi to Rock, you should go watch Bochi to Rock because it's like, it's so creative in terms of animation. It does a good job in talking about like, you know, performance and social anxiety, I think like it does like a very good like artistic picturesque way of describing what it feels like as a person who has like social anxiety and stuff like that, but you want to do something more with yourself, you know?
Hmm.
Like I think it did such a good job in a like cute little like schoolgirl type of way kind of shit.
Okay, I was
It's like,
kind of with you until that.
well,
I
like
was
because
like, wow, I could really use that type of show. It's like schoolgirl. I'm like,
well, the
that's
characters
not
are
really
like in
me.
school, you
Yeah.
know, the characters are in school, and the purpose is so like is for her to overcome her fear and perform at the school festival, pretty
Oh,
much.
okay, okay.
Yeah, that's why like it's kind of relevant of why it's like in school.
Right, right.
And yeah, and I also think like around that time is also like when we try to discover ourselves the best.
True.
It's also like the time where we're also one discover ourselves the best, and two kind of like get over the type of anxiety or like whatever that we are feeling, to like learn from it, accept it, or like either accept it or overcome it kind of thing. And I think like this show does such a good job in just talking about something like this.
Yeah.
So
But
that being said, but there was no fucking Bojita Rock shit anywhere. Like,
no. Well, you have a lot to learn from Tanjiro.
no, I don't have anything to learn from Tanjiro because all he does is like yell out for Nezuko, and then you have
Friendship.
fucking. I don't need another friendship show. I don't need another fucking friendship show. I learned all the friendship I need from Naruto, which is to
Sasuke, you're
find
my Nakama.
exactly like that's all I need. I just need all I needed was Naruto to tell me like all you need is a person from the opposite sex that you simp for, but that person simps for like your so-called best friend who is also your frenemy and who's gonna leave you, and you're gonna have to convince them to come back to your village.
Yeah. No, they taught you the very important lesson of the love rhombus.
Exactly.
How to navigate that to become Hokage.
Yes, exactly. Exactly that.
Yeah, Tanjiro
And
doesn't
like
get it.
no, Tanjiro doesn't get it. It's either we're either gonna do that or we're gonna do what's another one that they were having a lot of?
JJK?
JJK, yeah. Either that or we're gonna do JJK.
JJK
And
is
I'm like,
valid though.
JJK is valid because it's relevant now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have nothing bad to say about JJK. I love JJK.
Good. Very good.
But it's just annoying that like I feel like a lot of the shonen is just overwhelming with shonen.
Yeah,
You know?
like just nobody makes like kind of it's all the same stuff you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. And I think like there could have been so much more to it than just shonen. Like how recently I talked about this. I mentioned to you, but not to the audience, about like this anime that recently came out. Uh, Now I just don't remember the name because I literally just binged it, and I can tell you exactly what it's
the
about.
fantasy
But
anime. Yeah,
yeah,
tell them
yeah.
what
But
it's about. They'll figure it out.
mm,
Does it have an English name?
yeah, I think there should be in English.
Gosh,
Susu no Freiren.
classic.
I butchered that.
Certified
I'm sorry.
hood classic.
Either way, okay. So this is literally the plot of this is about this party. So it's a elf mage, a dwarf warrior, a priest, and a knight. They went on this 10-year adventure together to defeat the Demon King. And this pretty much takes place after they defeated the Demon King. So the first episode is literally seeing them come back to the kingdom, and then they get celebrated, and then they like pretty much part ways after that. But here's the thing though, like the knight and the priest are human, and then you have the dwarf and then the elf. If people in the audience don't understand, elves are like known to have very, 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 very long lives.
Yes.
Like they live for hundreds of years. That's their lifespan. So the elf in the so the story follows the elf because she kind of is like in elf years, she's young. She's on the younger side. So she doesn't understand that like humans don't live that long.
Oh no.
Humans live like one of 100th of like her lifespan or something like that.
Yeah.
And so, you know, she part ways with her party because she says that she wants to go learn more magic and stuff like that, which is like, you know, that sounds about right. But like at that celebration towards the end, there was like a meteor shower, and then the knight was like, I wish there was like a better way to see this meteor shower because it only happens once every 50 years. So
Mm-hmm.
she was like, I will take you in 50 years to a better place. She
Oh.
leaves, come back. The knight is still there, but he's like, you know, an old man now. Um, and you know, she gathers the party up. Everyone came back, and everyone looks different because you know the humans look different because they grew up. Even though the dwarf doesn't look that much different, he's like not the same as he used to be anymore. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they go, they travel for like a week to go to the spot that she's talking about. They see the meteor shower, you know, again together, and then pretty much the knight dies. He passes because he is
Oh.
of old age. And then this made her kind of realize something, which is that, you know, people like humans and like her party members aren't gonna live forever as long as her. And she realized that she took them for granted pretty much, and that she never really took the chance to really learn about them or got to know them like she should have and everything, to appreciate their memories, to appreciate their time. So this whole aftermath thing is literally her just like kind of trying to, I guess, revisit a lot of the things about her 10-year adventure with her party to defeat the Demon King. Um, Not so much as to relive it, but just to like kind of appreciate the time that she had with them, like because she didn't do so before. And you know, along the way, she's trying to like collect magic. And then the reason why she's so like, even though she doesn't say that she particularly likes magic or anything like, and these magic spells and things like that are like the most random as shit. Like there was like one where she like turns the grape really sour, a sweet grape to really
Wow,
really
what a
sour.
spell.
But there's a reason for it, and like she's collecting a lot of these things, and like the main overarching reason as to why she collects these magic is because she was the happiest when, you know, her party members saw her do these random magic spells, but
Mm-hmm.
it brought them so much joy.
Oh.
Like, and they complimented and praised her for it. Like, I mean, when are you ever gonna like need a magic spell to like propagate a field of flowers? Like,
If you're a florist,
sure,
clearly.
but like she did that, and you know her party members like freaking enjoy running, frolicking through the field of flowers and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So yeah, it's just like it was just like things like that. It was like um it's an anime that kind of like really makes you look at your own mortality and everything, and it's an anime that really like kind of, I guess, help you. It's like I always try to find animes like this where it kind of like resets my point of view about things, because I think like things like animes, or like not just anime, just shows in general, that makes you do like reset your point of view about like what you're doing, where you're going, is like so helpful in helping you like figure out what your dream is, what your goal is, what are you trying to accomplish and everything like that. Like really kind of set yourself up back onto like the path that you're going, if you like kind of strayed away at some point because life got so busy and stuff,
Yeah.
and you just kind of like need some kind of reminder. Like animes like that really kind of like set you back onto this path, because like it makes you face one, your mortality, yeah, but then it also makes you think about like, am I really enjoying like the simple life, the simple things in life? Like, just doing stupid shit with your friends, or like making stupid memories, or like am I happy with like what I accomplished here, or like am I going to be happier doing something else?
Hmm.
Like why did I choose this like path? Like it's the same way as like why did she choose end up learning magic, or like why is she learning to do this? And it was like a very simple answer for her, is because like she very much is happiest when she gets complimented by her party members. You know,
Yeah.
it's like things like that, like really kind of like is like this type of anime is like I guess it's called is would be considered as, I don't know if it's considered a slice of life anime or if it's considered like I won't say coming of age anime. I don't know what the genre
I
of
guess
it
it
is.
could be considered a coming of age because they're like maturing.
Maybe I guess, and it's like I think like it's such a it's a sleeper. I think it's a sleeper of this season because like I don't think I think a lot of people are like over glamorized by like the fact that one JJK is running still, and then you
Yeah.
have I Family who's running, Attack on Titan who's coming out.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, like there's a lot of big name animes that are like out this season, but this is the sleeper of the season. Like I don't care how glamorous, how like fancy you can make a fight scene and stuff like that. Like don't get me wrong, they have fight scenes in this too, because this is still a fantasy anime and they're still gonna
Hmm.
have to fight shit. But like you're not like at the end of the day, are you gonna really make me think about like the deeper meaning of life? Like is JJK gonna really make me think about the deeper meaning of life, or is it gonna make me wonder? I wonder what Gojo's like underpants color is, or some shit like that. Like,
It might do both. Who knows?
you know what I mean, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's a very underrated anime that I think like,
It's got
or
something to
not
say.
underrated. Yeah, I won't say it's underrated. I think it's just not a people are aware about it. The people who are aware about it, I think they like can agree that it's a well worth anime to watch.
Yeah, so you want like to bring more people's attention to it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think it deserves the watch. I think like I mean, I won't say it's everybody's cup of tea. I feel like it's more so for like the people who are kind of like a little bit lost right now,
Yeah.
or like are people who just kind of needs like
Which is a
a
lot of
reset, like
people.
attention.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like I think like people who are just kind of like needing some kind of like like some kind of media or something just to kind of like help them realize a little bit something about themselves, help them realize a little bit something about like their surrounding or what they're trying to do, where they're trying to go, kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's not like an anime that is like meant to be like, I guess it could be an anime that is meant to be like you can sit back and relax about it and watch it, or you can just kind of like embrace what is like what the overarching like meaning and plot of it is.
Yeah, you can like reflect upon it and like use it to apply to your life to see like, is this the path that I want to go on? Is this like, what do I actually value? And kind of like, and I think you've mentioned this before, like in our individual conversation, is like you can kind of course correct if you're like realizing if like, oh, I strayed from the path that I want, or like I'm not valuing things enough that I used to value, and you can kind of like go back to doing what actually matters to you.
Exactly. And I think this is where it comes to like me being I guess I get biased towards animes that are like that, right? I get biased towards anime who I think like has so much more that they're giving but just not getting recognized for. I think, you know, JJK is great, Demon Slayer is great on its own merit, and like all these jazz like that, but like at the end of the day, a lot of it is just like super just, you know, super flashy fights and
Mm-hmm.
like
Power
things like
fantasy.
that. Yeah, and it's like is I guess it accomplishes what it's meant to be, which is whatever genre is meant to be. But
Mm-hmm.
I feel like my bias is always towards like animes that has like a very good like slice of life feel to it, and I think like this is definitely one of them. And I guess like if I have to compare as to like what kind of vibes and feels that it gives me, I think like March Comes Like a Lion is another
Mm.
one. It's like I know a lot of people know about it, and I know like a lot of people like praise it for what it is, but I don't think like enough people knows about it. You know what I
I
mean?
mean,
Like
I
it's one
haven't
of
watched
those.
it yet.
I think it's a great anime. It's a great anime to talk about like what depression can look like, what anxiety can look like, and what pressure, like pressure for success looks like.
Mm-hmm.
I think like anime, and I just think animes like that have like so much more to offer than just like the ritzy bam bam boom kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, Bam Bam Boom can be good, but it kind
Yeah.
of it comes a little bit back to what you were saying, like Star Wars versus Marvel. Like Marvel entertains us for many, many, many hours, just like a lot of the shonen can. But then like Star Wars or like uh, Soshi or whatever show you were just talking about, Freyren, and like March comes in like a lion. Like those are shows that actually like stick with us and like kind of change who we are.
Yeah, and I think like that's and like that's why like Marvel it just comes as so much volume and everything like that. That's why I'm just kind of like whatever about it because like at the end of the day Marvel was good when it was just like in doses, but like when it's like it comes
Yeah.
to the point where it's like too much of like something is never a good thing really. And I think
No.
that's what Marvel ended up being for me where it's like there's too many things happening, too many like shows, too many movies coming out and like it's so much to keep up with and it's like I have my own life, bro. Like I can't be like dedicating my life all to Marvel here.
Yeah. I
It
mean,
was like that kind of feeling.
yeah, and like sometimes I feel that way about anime. I'm like, oh man, Jujutsu Kaisen's coming out, Demon Slayer's coming out, Spy Family. Like, oh man, I gotta catch up. I gotta catch up. But meanwhile, like I'm trying to like do my own career and stuff. And like, damn.
Yeah, I think mainstream animes are great animes to just kind of follow along with as a season, like in the season.
Yeah.
Just because like it is the hype thing, and then you're gonna get spoiled about it if you don't
Yep.
watch it and everything.
Yep.
As opposed to like this anime that I'm talking about, which is like I literally like purposely kept like not watching it because it's already out with 6 seasons at it's not 6 episodes.
Oh,
Sorry, six
I was
episodes at
I
this
was
point.
I was shocked for a second. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's already out with 6 episodes, and I purposely kept it that way so I can binge it, and
Wait,
I'm so glad it did.
is it a fall anime? Like, is it like still airing, or is it like?
Still airing.
Oh, okay.
I think it like came out at a very like weird time. I think
Mm-hmm.
like it it kind of came out a little earlier than I guess what we would consider as a fall anime.
Got you.
It's like one of those. I think in terms of animes, it's like I wish like things like Khan can appreciate animes like that
Mm-hmm.
more than just what they know what they know can obviously sell. Like if they took a gamble in terms of like selling merch that were like March comes in like a lion or this anime, I think like it would have given me a different vibe and I definitely would have bought something from them because I normally don't buy things like at
Yeah.
cons. I always buy things for like other people, but like I know like I feel like the people that I know who are like big anime fans would appreciate merch from like things like that than just like oh here's another freaking fate thing of Saber or like here's another JJK thing of Gojo or like
Yeah.
like things like that is just kind of like
Yeah.
you can always get it.
Yeah, and it also feels a little bit like commercialism versus like actual artistic expression at a point where like cuz like they're bringing stuff to the convention that they know will sell. Like
Yeah.
they will always buy like the sexy saber like figurines and they'll always buy like the Nezuko little pop figures and stuff. But Bochi the
Uh,
Rock. It's no.
I know. I think like that's just like my opinion of things. And like I said, like Honda Sear just didn't hit for me. Like I was still happy to go with my friends. I was still happy to see my friends,
Mm-hmm.
experience cons together, get to like do my little cosplaying situation. Um, and I wish I could have done more, but at the same time, I don't. I think like for my cosplaying style, I like the way I do it. It's just I don't know. Sometimes I kind of wonder if I should have done more, but that's just my thought.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's like one time you'll get the spark of inspiration to go all out again.
Maybe I don't know.
I mean, it
I
seems
don't know.
like
I
this
guess
wasn't it.
like I like what I had. It's just like I was rushed to make piece it together is the best way of saying it, because
Hmm.
I'm not gonna go out and just like, so Sailor Pluto, I could have just gone out and bought like the exact outfit that she wore and everything like that, but that's not how I usually do things. I want to
Hmm.
be able to piece together to make them more streetwear casual type of look, and then like incorporate her elements into it.
Right.
I think the one thing that would have really like set my cosplay like to make me like actually happy about it is if I could have figured out how to like make the staff that she has. I'm not a craftsman though.
You didn't like fire up the forge and start hammering away.
I'm not a no. I wish I can do it, but I don't know how to. Like, I think it was just I don't know how to, and I just did not have the time to. Like, her staff
Yeah.
is very uniquely her too. Aside from her hair, I think it is what it is. I think like I'm still happy with what it ended up coming out to be. I think like in the future, I just have to like be careful because like I did end up buying something on Amazon that never got shipped.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
annoying.
so like it was like one of my the idea pieces I wanted, but it never got shipped. I mean, like I found an alternative anyway, so I was just like
Hmm.
whatever. But yeah, I think cosplay this year was decent. I don't think it was like the what I was seeing. It was like
Okay.
pretty decent. Like I saw a pretty good handful of cosplays that were like I was like, "Oh, I'm very impressed" and everything like that. But it still wasn't like the same as it was last year or the year before that. I don't know what it is about this year that it was just not like as good
I
as
don't
it
know.
was. Like
Maybe it does have to do with like the Screen Actors strike, or like maybe there's just like, I don't know, some fatigue of like some sort of something. I don't know. Like I found out
I
about New York Comic Con like late as well. Like not as much. There wasn't as much buzz going around about it as usual.
Yeah, and I feel like it's just cause like there's not as much big name people coming this year.
That,
There's not as much.
yeah, I guess it could have had like a domino effect.
Yeah, because it's like so weird that like Saturdays are usually like the most packed for like Comic Con, and it did not. It felt like it was just a Sunday. Like Saturday felt like a Sunday,
Hmm.
and it was weird. I mean, I don't hate it because it's like less people to like be bumping around with, but at the same time, it was like kind of weird.
Yeah, different vibe.
It was a different vibe, and it's just I don't know. Like at some point, I'm like thinking about it, I'm like, this year I did two days. I usually do like about a 3 or 4, and like I'm about to like just dwindle down, and the number
Start at
of
one
days
day.
I'm doing. Yeah, because it's like it does get tiring if you do like a full day a Saturday and a half day Sunday, and like if you work, and it's gonna be even more tiring if you work like the Friday before and the Monday after.
Yeah,
So that was like another thing about Comic Con that was like, meh, I'm out.
you gotta take a week off like a real adult.
I wanted to. I did. Don't get me wrong, I did, but I'm kind of glad I didn't because I was like, it would have been like such a waste of money for me because I was not really enjoying it. There was like,
Yeah,
you know,
ended up being the correct decision.
yeah, it kind of was. Maybe next year would be different when like maybe when there's not things that are like conflicting for it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
I mean, I'm
I
sure they're gonna see like the lesser crowd on Saturday and be like, we gotta we gotta pump it up next year because I mean they want that money.
Yeah, for sure. Like it's just not the same. I think like Comic Con was his own little disappointment, I guess, of a thing, but like that's what it is. I think like disappointment's just been rolling in this month for
Oh
me.
my gosh,
Like there's Comic Con, there's Love is Blind,
there is.
which is like
Oh my
a
god.
whole other like bullshittery of bullshit that we like sat through this season.
Yeah.
Like
God, yeah. What is it with this like menagerie of disappointments going on lately?
I want to know
Like, did
too,
we have it
like
too good for too long?
I honestly believe the writer's strike did its justice in terms of like showing us how shitty everything can
We
be
need them.
without
Bring
them.
them back.
For real. Because I'm like, well, first of all, yes, they deserve better like working conditions, pays, and everything like that. Like,
Yeah.
I think everybody in the world deserves to have like good working condition and pay in general, you know, not just like
Communist. I'm just
yeah,
kidding.
sure.
I'm just kidding.
But like, you know what I mean? Like it's just like everyone who does their job deserves like, you know,
Yeah.
deserves something.
No,
Like
especially a job
that's a
like
fair
that that
compensation.
like, it's so impactful good writing versus bad writing too. Like it's not like like a job where you just put in like numbers into a database. Like these people are actively affecting the quality of the shows and movies that we watch.
Yeah, and I think like, you know, they make so much like the okay, let's talk about like how much money they garner up for how much money
Yeah,
they get
let's
paid.
get into the money.
It's like it's ridiculous, you know.
Mhm.
But I feel like every company is always gonna have a CEO who like banks, obviously, off of like the millions or like not millions, but like hundreds of people who work under him and stuff,
Yep.
and they get paid like minimum wage or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, and then they're like, "Well, what does this person really do for us?"
Yeah, and I'm just kind of like, well, they are the ones who freaking write
Yeah,
shows,
they're the ones
direct
that
your shows.
they're the ones that make the show good.
That's what I'm just kind of like, bro, like I'm I'm out here working as a healthcare provider, and it sucks already as how much I get paid, but like it sucks how much they get paid. Like,
Yeah. No, it's crazy. And the AI thing is also kind of wild because like as someone who works in AI, like AI is not going to make good shit. It's not. That's not good at it at this point in time. And the fact that they're trying to make it do shit is crazy.
yeah, I think like it's such an interesting point in time that we live in because we're trying to make AI like replace a lot of things in our
Yeah,
life.
and it's not ready to do so.
No, it definitely isn't. It's like it's gonna definitely take a lot more time than what it is. But like that being said, it's just like this season of Love is Blind is just like it was like a train wreck that I definitely could have looked away from if I really wanted to.
Yeah, no, that's the thing is it's not it wasn't interesting enough that you want to keep watching for like how shitty it is. It's just was shitty in a way that caused you to be apathetic towards it. Like I was like if I don't watch the final episode, I would be fine. I didn't feel like any like mental tension that like if I didn't watch it, I'd be upset, you know.
Yeah, I think it, like if I just got the highlight for people just telling me, all right,
Yeah, this person got
Milton and
married.
Lydia, yeah, Milton and Lydia got married, and then you have Stacy and Izzy that didn't get married. Cool. And then what are the highlights in the reunion?
Like
Everyone
nothing.
fucking sucks is what the highlight is.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
bro,
literally
like,
nothing.
because it's like at the like, all right, I'm glad Milton and Lydia are still together, but that
Yeah.
doesn't still change the fact that I think she's kind of crazy. Like,
I think everyone is kind of crazy in like the past, and a lot of the seasons of Love Is Blind, at least the ones that they show.
yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, I do agree that everyone's a little bit crazy, but like, I think Lydia is her own type of crazy, and I'm glad Milton is very level-headed to keep like this going for them.
Yeah,
And that's all I have to say about them. And then you have fucking Izzy and Stacy, who is like man-child versus like toxic, and then like I
man-child
don't know.
versus toxic is kind of the theme of this season.
Yeah, it really is, right? Because it's just like who's toxic and who's man-child.
Yeah,
And then like Izzy just never is gonna ever rub me the right way, and then Stacy is never gonna rub me the right way, no matter how I like look at it, no matter how like I don't care if my cousin doesn't thinks like Stacy is like fine. I don't think Stacy is fine because she just comes off as a bitch. Like,
mm,
don't get me wrong, there are points in time where she like says, yeah, what she says is right and all, but
sure.
like, sure, but don't gotta be a bitch about
Well,
it.
yeah,
And then
she's still bitter about shit that happened like 2 years ago.
exactly, it's just like fucking let it go,
She's just like
man. Like
Johnny
everyone's
said
moved on.
that like I wasn't as good of a person as she was for Izzy, and it's just like who the fuck cares?
Yeah, who the fuck cares?
Like
Because you're the one who ended up with him, and then you guys ended up not marrying by your choice.
yeah, she's like if I don't know, it's like she's drinking poison expecting Johnny to die from it. Like she's holding in so much fucking anger, and it's just like Johnny doesn't care. Johnny moved on. Everyone
I
moved
know.
on.
Exactly.
And yeah, it's getting to the point where like a lot of people and like possibly myself included, like if they don't really like bring their A game next season, like I might be off the train, you know?
I agree. I guess it depends on like what city they're gonna be in and like the kind of like.
Seoul, South Korea.
You wish.
I wish. I'd watch it.
I mean, I wish they brought back like Love Is Blind Japan.
Yeah. No, I don't know like what happened because that's like the only country that like they only got one season because like Brazil's going strong, like
Yep.
Germany or some shit has a couple of seasons.
I didn't know there was Germany.
There's some one other country. I might be thinking of Too Hot to Handle, Germany, but
Oh,
there's
I think
another
you are.
country
No,
that
it's
Love
only
is Blind.
Brazil and
Is it only
It's only
Brazil?
Brazil and Japan.
Oh,
Yeah.
but maybe I'm thinking of the
I
Ultimatum because I think that has like a German one.
Oh, I don't know. I just think like, but Love Is Blind is only like America, Brazil, and Japan, and I just wish Japan had another season because I felt like that's
That's
like the wholesomest shit I ever watched of this
that's
like
one of the countries and cultures that the concept would work, and it did.
right. Right? I mean, like like one, they had like a good amount of couples, but then like you're still gonna have your fallouts and everything, but you still have the couples that did make it towards the end.
Yeah, no, it was like the perfect season of this show, exactly what we and like everyone else wanted.
But
Can't have that.
we keep getting shit
They don't want
drama.
enough Instagram clout.
Uh,
That's all they want. They just want that Instagram.
it really sucks that this
Instagram.
is how. No, well, I guess yeah. Well, you were the one who said something about Instagram being the freaking thing
Inst-
that ruins
Instagram
everything.
is the villain of the show. Because as soon as they get their phones back, they're like, "Who are you looking at on Instagram? I saw you like follow this girl," and like everything just blows up because of like Instagram bullshit. While in the pods, when they don't have it, like everything's hunky dory.
Yeah, I guess.
Like I've never seen two adults in real life like argue that much about social media.
Oh,
Like
you're talking about Lydia Uche.
no, anybody. Like
Oh,
any of the Love is Blind, they always argue about social media, and it's just like this is not indicative of like how a lot of people, like most people are, I feel, you know? Maybe I don't know, maybe contemporary people are more like that. Maybe I'm not trendy enough. Who knows?
but like, do you think it's social media that's ruining a lot of these? Because like, okay, aside from Love Is Blind, another show that we both talked about was Married at First Sight.
Hmm.
Do you think social media ruined that one?
I don't think like social media itself ruins anything. I think it's people's like the individual's obsession with it. No, Married at First Sight ruined itself because it's a stupid idea with stupid people doing a stupid thing.
But like, a lot of them. How many seasons are there? There's like
There's
so
like
many seasons.
25 seasons and there's like three
Exactly.
successful couples. Like the success
There's
rate
really
is
only
so
three.
fucking low. It's not 3, but it's like less than 10% success rate. Meanwhile, like all these legal papers are being filled out for this shit. They're like just wasting time and energy, everyone's fucking time. I felt like I wasted my time watching a season because it's like 20 episodes a season.
Oh yeah, it is pretty
So
long.
huge waste of time just to see like who are clearly not going to get married argue back and forth. It's just an awful show with awful execution.
I guess how long is the show in terms of their real time? Like it's what, 3 months?
Something like that. Yeah, like it's not significantly longer than Love is Blind, but they just like refuse to cut the fat.
I wonder if or there's like a grace period of when you can annul your marriage.
Yeah, I mean they like say like divorce versus annulment or whatever, but I get it depends on the state. Each state has different like marriage and annulment laws and stuff. I would know because I know people are getting divorced, which is a fun experience if you never had that, by the way.
Don't endorse it.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't recommend you know, having multiple friends who are going through divorce, and if they for some reason think you know about it.
Because you look very lawyer like.
Maybe. Yeah, I put on my fucking suit and I'm just like, all right, let's go.
I mean, aside from that, like everything about Love is Blind this season is like, what is it that did not hit? It was like I feel like there was plenty of things that didn't hit this season around compared to like the
Yeah, I
previous
feel
one.
like it would be easier to name the things that did hit because it felt like all the appeal of the other seasons, like the people, like the sanity couple, like kind of the core values of like the concept, like potential for like actual like good connections, like the drama was weird and like not manufactured, but it felt like almost like manufactured by the individuals. Like Uche came in there to like, cause ruckus. Like that wasn't like incidental. He came in there to start a fight.
But isn't that also kind of like what Shake did in the past?
Yeah, but Shake was like kind of an anomaly in that season. Where like in this season, like it seemed like everyone was kind of doing it.
There was Shake and there was Shane.
Shane didn't like start drama like for the sake of it. He was just kind of like a crazy person. But like he didn't want to be crazy. He was like kind of sympathetic in a way because it was like like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Like he was this like sweet guy sometimes who wanted love, but then like he couldn't control that other side of him who was like got super jealous and like started doing the crazy eyes.
Fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. And then
But
I guess like in the other season, there's also oh like SK.
oh god, that was a yeah, like again, like it seemed like he was like someone who wanted to do something, but then Instagram got him.
Oh, that's true. It was Instagram that got him.
Well, I mean his cheating got him, but he met the girl on
Like
Instagram, I think.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Looking back on hindsight of it, there's always just people who are just kind of shitty who ends up on the show, right?
Right.
Like we thought Chris was such a good person,
Who?
like Chris from this season.
Yeah.
And then what happens? He ends up like ghosting Johnny
Oh
on her
god.
birthday week after their wedding, and then he just left her
Yeah.
high and dry.
That's crazy as someone in their like late 20s or early 30s, whatever he is. Like that's something a high schooler does. On their birthday, like just be like, "Man, I'll deal with this problem later." Like what a fucking idiot.
I guess the way I saw it, I was just kind of like, bro, you are like the one good dude aside from Milton, and then
He
here you
seemed
are.
that way.
Yeah, because he was like the way he talked about things was like so sweet. Like
Yeah, he
opened
was
up so much
calm.
about Johnny.
Yeah.
Yeah, he defended her so hard at the barbecue, and it's just like comes around being like, I cheated on someone
Yeah.
that I said I loved,
And he's like, "Oopsie doopsie."
and then what does he say? Like, oh, I guess I do cheat on people, somebody that I love. I'm like,
Not very remorseful.
I mean, I guess it's because it's been like a year
Yeah,
out
it's been a
or
year.
so.
Like him and Johnny seemed cool with each other, despite that, and like it seemed like they were both in better relationships. So it's kind of like an ends define the means kind of way. So neither was really that upset. It seemed.
Yeah, and like I guess like with Stacy and Izzy, it was just kind of like also like just a bad train wreck watching them just like
It was like
sit
a
next
it was like a boring train wreck. It was kind of it was like watching like a God, I'm trying to think of like a comparison. It was like watching like a shopping cart accident.
I
Like the
think that
shopping
is a good,
cart,
yeah.
like it's not going very fast. It's not very exciting, but like like it's gonna hit them, and like you can't really stop it. But it's also like you'd rather just go in and start shopping. Like it's not like someone else can deal with that shit. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that because that does make sense. I think at the end of the day, it was also like, I just keep thinking that Izzy's such a man child. Like Izzy's
He is a
forever.
man child.
He's just forever a fucking man child, fuck boy, whatever he wants to call himself. But he's forever like a man child. And then you have like Stacy, who's like utmost princess, talking about her granddad like working to the bones.
He
to
worked in
provide
the
for
mines.
like, bro, like that's
He
your
had calluses
grandfather,
on his
not your
hands.
dad, not you.
Yeah,
Yo, like,
she's second generation money. Like, come on now.
yeah, she's pretty much like working her way up into like old money like status at this point. And then like I think like one of my coworkers was telling me like that they found out that her dad's suit that he wore for the wedding
Hmm.
was like legit like 30 grand.
Wow, it should have looked a lot better then, because it looked like shit
But
on him.
and then like it was just funny because we're all saying like, bro, he could have just paid off Izzy's debt.
Yeah, we could have fixed his credit score instantly. God
It
damn.
would have. It was just so funny just the thought of it and everything like that. I'm just like, ugh, everything about this relationship was just so bullshit. I bet you Izzy like at some point thought like this is my sugar mama
Oh god, yeah, maybe.
in the pods
Maybe
and
that's why
like
he was trying to lock it in.
yeah, like that's why he ditched Lydia and that's why he ditched well he ditched
No,
Lydia earlier
well, Lydia, I
early on.
think, like, was too much for him. Like, she was like, I love you, and he was like, ugh,
Yeah,
that's scary.
she's yeah, she's kind of
To be fair, it is scary. Like,
no, I agree. It is
girl, I don't know
scary
you.
too. I know, right? It's like I haven't even seen you yet, and you're telling me you love me. That's fucking weird.
That's why we need a New York season with just, like, people who, like, have trust issues and, like, just like,
Oh my!
girl, like, I don't know you. What the hell are you talking about?
I think that is. I think I don't know. Maybe it's a New York thing because I definitely have that trust issue going
No,
on.
we don't
Like,
trust anybody.
no, I know, and that's what I'm saying. And Zach thinks it's the weirdest thing because like the first time I ever met him, I like did a handshake with him instead of giving him a hug, and he like holds me to it for like the life of him.
He's
'Cause
lucky you
like,
got that.
I know. I'm like, you're lucky you even got that instead
Could
of
have
me just be
fucking.
like, hey, what's
He
up?
could have had a knife on him. He could have stabbed you during the hug, you know?
Exactly. I was being cautious, all right, and I was just
Yeah.
like, what's up? And no, he wanted a hug. I'm like, hand,
Yeah.
hand.
Hello, sir.
But like, yeah, it's just like maybe I don't know. Maybe it's a city thing. Maybe it's a New York thing. Who knows? It's just like you don't fucking like be telling people you love them off the spot. Like
Yeah, no,
that's a sign of weakness.
that's a sign of weakness. Yeah, I'm just like, get off of me, woman. What are you doing?
Like you're after something. I just don't know what
Yeah,
yet.
exactly. You're just like, what do you at? What is your plan? What is your agenda here?
Exactly. That's why I'm just like.
Yeah, exactly. No, but luckily that's why they don't film in New York.
I feel like if they end up filming in New York, they're gonna get like transplants, not native.
Probably. Yeah, they're definitely gonna get like Midwest people who come to New York. And you're
Yeah,
just
who
like, I'm
like
looking
living.
for love in a new city.
Yeah, like people who come live in New York and be like, this is my dream. I came here to be an actor.
Yeah, you're not gonna get fucking Tony who works at the pizzeria being like, hey, what the fuck you want?
I know,
What's
right?
what's the matter with
Exactly.
you?
Exactly. So
Which
it's
that's what I want.
I
Like,
think it'd be interesting if they ever did it in New York.
yeah, you could get such a diverse cast, but there probably wouldn't. They'd probably make it very homogenous.
Yeah, I feel like every single year they have like a big group of like white people, and then like a kind of like a mixed in with like okay, so the amount of white people I feel like we see is the most.
It's like half,
They-
at least.
It's like half at least, right? And then the second is probably like black,
Yeah.
and then
There's-
after
like a
that,
Hispanic sneaks in,
yeah, and then Hispanic is like maybe one Asian.
if we're lucky.
If we're lucky, like maybe two Asians.
Yeah, and they gotta be paired up with a non-Asian.
And they're always paired. Yes, and they're always paired up with like.
Can't
a
can't. If there was two Asians, there wouldn't be a show.
No. Exactly. But that's what I'm saying. It's just kind of like the diversity in the show. Is just kind of like, is it because they don't have? Is like, is it just because like
I
of
would.
the applicant pool?
Yeah, I would
Or,
love to know
like-
the reasoning, because like that's definitely an observation like me, you, and a lot of people have had.
Yeah, because it's just kind of like, what's the reason? I'm curious to know. Like, are you telling me there's not a lot of Asians who are interested in being in this show? Or
Well, I
like,
feel like there's been like seasons where like there'd be like 5 to 8 Asian contestants, but like for one reason or another, like they just didn't get featured after the pods, or even during the pods. Some of them you just see in the background.
right. And then, I mean, the only time we did like actually see Asians making it through was like, you have Natalie.
Natalie, yeah, who
And-
is paired up with Shane, which is
Ugh.
because you can't not have Shane.
And then you have Deepti.
Deepti, again, paired up with a psychopath.
Yeah, with Shake.
Although, like, you know, two like Asians, like I think that's the only time that's happened. But I think it's
Like
literally
it's the only
because or Shake was a psychopath,
maybe I don't know.
and they
Who knows?
both
At
like,
this
we only
point,
date white people. It's crazy that we're dating another Indian.
I know it was such a weird like
And then Shake
commentary.
was
I guess
like, I don't know about this, man.
I know, I know. But that's like literally, I guess the only time we ever saw like an Asian ever represented, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And that was that was the Chicago season.
I know, and I fucking hated it. Like, I don't think I expressed to you like how much like me and my cousin both did not like how Natalie was represented on television, because it made her like she came off as like almost like this like I guess like it's almost like a helpless Asian like girl stereotype, like
No, I did
that a
kind
lot
of
of
feel
like
that too.
yeah, like that a lot of guys fantasize about, because that's like the stereotype about it. And I hated that it was what it was like. I'm like, yo, just you know you're in a toxic relationship, but yet you still fucking stick around.
Yep.
It doesn't like you're out here representing all of us on national like streaming platform, not international, I'm sorry, international streaming
Uh,
platform,
yeah.
and you're making it seem like Asian girls are rolled over type of people.
For the tall white man.
Even Deep D was kind of like that too, with
Yeah.
Shake's like inappropriate behavior and shit.
Yeah, she was very like she ratified it, like she accepted it, and like didn't make
Yeah,
a
and
big
I
fuss.
understand. Like I understand at the end of the day they did ended up not marrying them and stuff like that, but like did you like stick around this entire like ordeal just to like get to the wedding episode so you can like prove like that you aren't like that? It's like what your freaking like arc happening or whatever, and like this is also for clout or some shit on top. It was just kind of like a lot of things in my mind was like not positive things about them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I hate that it was like that, but this is how I felt about it. Like literally how me and my cousin felt about it very strongly. Um, I think even at the reunion, we both were just kind of like, "What are we
Yeah.
doing here?"
Nah. Definitely definitely rough out here for minorities in a lot of denominations.
I wish there was like better representation, in my
That's why they're
opinion,
too
of like
scared to do it in New York.
I'm sure they are scared to do it in New York for a reason, and like, but like even if they, but I also just don't know. It's like casting choice. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it's
is
hard
it?
to say. I don't want to like throw any allegations,
Yeah,
but because you
but
know
like,
we don't really know what reasons they have for picking whoever.
yeah, but I think like at the end of the day, it does give me like clout chasing vibes. If like they both Deepti and like Natalie both like ended up making a podcast together just to talk about
Yeah,
Love is Blind,
and they did.
and yeah, like literally like their whole content is just literally talking about like around Love is Blind and shit like that, and I'm just like, that's literally the identity you chose to embody now, and I can't say that I like it, because you can do so much more with your clout that you got, but
Right.
you chose to do something. Well, like what happens if the show like ends? Like what happens if the series ends? Then what are you gonna talk about? Like you ran out, you're like out of
They're
content to
fucked.
talk about
That's
now.
why they gotta milk it now.
Oh gosh, I just
Yeah, I mean,
I can't.
I think like something like I thought about when you were saying that is like a lot of these people like they have jobs that are not necessarily like jobs that are, I guess, like very admirable in a way. Like this season in particular, there was a lot of people who worked in the oil industry, and
Oh,
so
fisherman.
there was well, fisherman is fine. He didn't like that's not a bad occupation, but like Milton, for example, he works in oil engineering.
Mm-hmm.
There was like another person who like worked in Saudi Arabia for some oil thing. The other ones are like kind of like mundane, like operations manager or insurance. There's not
Yeah.
like not owner of a nonprofit. There's not like these like really admirable people on the show.
Because
Like,
they have better things to do with their lives.
yeah, like, but in you've seen Physical 100, right?
Oh yeah.
So you remember how a lot of contestants in that show were there like because they had like a good cause they represented or something and they wanted to get exposure for it. Like
Yeah.
that's a good reason to chase clout. You know?
Yeah, because they're trying to represent what their body figure is like to prove that it's like worth what the chase is for, right?
Yeah.
Like you had dancers competing into this. You had like dancers, cheerleaders that were competing against like champion winning like bodybuilders and like wrestlers and things like that. And I thought that was like such an interesting like concept to like not even exclude like the smallest of the smallest like athletes, but like to include them to prove like if they asking them
Yeah.
if they are capable. And it's all like obviously by chance, obviously as to like what their matchup is and what the game is and everything like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like it was like there was definitely different like I felt like a lot at the end of the day like if you had like a good body mass and strength like it's you're good enough to like probably compete
Yeah.
and make it far.
And that's kind of showed there was like a large variety of different body types that made it to like the top 20. And the main guy, he was like a dude who was in like a kind of obscure sport, and he's like, hey man, I came on here because my sport doesn't get a lot of funding, and like programs are like kind of being removed from schools and shit for it. So like, I want to get it like some attention so that people be like, this is a sport where great athletes go, and like, they'll keep funding it. And like there was people
Yeah.
who represented charities and people who like had like YouTube channels and like that were educational or something. So there was a lot of good reasons to like be there to promote something. Whereas this like, if you are in Love Is Blind to promote something, it's just to promote yourself.
That's very true. I mean, aside from like the actual what it should be intended for, which is finding love and everything, yeah,
Yeah,
it is
which would
very
be
much
great if everyone felt that way as well.
right. I
Ideally.
agree. I agree. I think at the end of the day, like Love Is Blind is like I think we both agree that if next season isn't gonna be good, it's probably not gonna be good. It's not probably gonna
Yeah,
be
it's
worthwhile.
over.
I mean, I hope like they go back to like what the purpose of the show is, because I feel like all of us are coming in for the purpose of the show. It's like the drama is like kind of nice on the side, but like we want
Mhm.
the actual reason of why people came on the show, not some.
Yeah.
Also, I think the other complaint I have about the show is the fact that there's too many scenes of like just making out, just like
They had to fill
freaking
time this season.
I don't care. Fill time other ways. Like I'm not here to sit through watching people making out or like about to have sex in the shower or some fucking shit. You are being fucking creepy and making softcore porn at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Like I am not here to sit through that shit. I came here
Did you
for
not
love.
like that one girl who kept calling Izzy daddy? Do you remember that? There was like scenes in Mexico where like Stacy was talking about Izzy's penis size and like calling him daddy and shit. It was something.
Oh gosh.
They're like, oh, I'm glad you were large down there. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Just
Just like guys, it's never about the size. Okay, it's never about the size.
it's about the
Like
width.
no, it's not.
Go on, say what you're gonna say.
It's never about the size. It's always about how you perform.
Right.
It's like that's what matters in the end. Like that's why it's just kind of like I think like everything about that show is such a blur to me because I'm just like yeah,
It's for the best.
like yeah, just being disgusting at this point. Like I ain't here about like yeah doing the nasties. I want quality, wholesome content here, which are not providing me at this point.
No, this season was like all of the negative shit from past seasons that we like kind of just like dealt with without the positive things that we like watched for.
You know, it was pretty bad.
Yeah. And it shows how like fragile this the thing is if they like delve too deeply into like the drama reality show part of it cuz like
Yeah.
people are going to stop watching.
And it's so crazy to me that it's Emmy nominated now.
That's insane. That's like wrong time, man.
I know, terrible timing. And then like I think the other thing that was like so annoying was at the end of the reunion they decided like to do like this whole like question thing.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
because they didn't have anything to fucking talk about.
like okay, is there nothing that you can think of talking about? Like the only thing you could think of talking about is drama and shit like that. Because
Yes.
it felt like the entire time like they were just like pointing out all the dramas that were like
Yeah.
during the season.
Well, Milton was the only person who had anything to fucking say.
Yeah,
Like everyone else just like kept digging up old shit.
yeah. That's why I'm just kind of like,
You know what I think they should do for like a future season, and maybe it wouldn't work, but you know how like in Too Hot to Handle, where they lie to them and tell them they're going to be on a different show.
oh my
I
gosh,
think they
what would
should
they
do.
tell them?
That's the part I'm like trying to think of because they have to like find people who are like or really want to get into like the love part. So like maybe like some like low budget like love show, uh, but then they're just like psych, it's Love Is Blind, so that like there's less clout chasing, you know? Like
Maybe. I mean, that's not a terrible idea.
yeah, I mean I don't know if that's what like the showrunners actually wants. That's
But
always the big
also,
if.
like, how many do you think the showrunners can get away with, like, the lies for Too Hot to Handle?
It keeps working apparently.
Maybe. I still want to try to get onto the circle.
The circle.
It looks fun.
God, I still haven't watched that.
You should. I think you'll like it because it's all like mind gaming.
Yeah, I don't think I like understand the concept that well, so it's like hasn't really been something that I've gravitated towards. Cause like if
I,
everyone knows that they're playing mind games, like how does it even work?
well, I guess it's like some people play to tell the truth and some people play to tell like a lie, and it's just a matter of like
Nice.
your choice as to like who you're gonna trust
And there's
and
no
who you're.
like distinct advantage between lying and telling the truth.
No, I don't think there ever was. I think like at the end
Okay.
of the day, it's just about you trying to figure out where your alliance are and where your like enemies are, kind of thing.
I see. Yeah, cause like the text description of it was just like deception and all this shit. I'm just like, but why would you trust anybody if everyone's lying?
Well, you have to trust people, right? Because there's a ranking system
No,
that
I don't.
happens.
No, I don't.
Well,
Oh, is there? Wait, yeah, explain
there's
how the
a
show
ranking
works.
system that yeah. So there's a ranking system that happens, and then if you're like so a lot of times if you're ranked the lowest, then you're gonna get booted. So that's why you have to
Oh.
like
So you have to
create
make
favoritism.
relationships and shit.
Yeah, yeah, make relationship, make favoritism with people and stuff like that, so you're not voted so low on the scale.
I see. Interesting.
Yeah, so that's why I'm just kind of like, it's a very interesting show, like how people decide to go in with it. Like some, like there have been winners who are like genuinely who are themselves, and then there have been winners who are like pretending to be someone else,
Yeah,
and then
pretending to be a hot girl.
yeah,
Of course.
like either like a hot girl, hot guy, or whatever. Like it's a matter of like how well you play yourself or another person.
Does anyone ever pretend to be like a dog? Or like some like silly thing like that? Like they pretend to be like a volcano.
No, they have to be a person, okay? Or
Oh,
it's
that's
how
not
they're gonna
fun.
talk.
Oh, well,
There was
that's
like,
the crazy thing, you know? It's so absurd that like you gotta believe them.
well, there was this one person who pretended to be what's that guy from Insane Call?
Justin Timberlake,
No, not that one. The other
JC Chavez,
one. No.
Last
Lance.
Bands,
Yes.
Lance Bass.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Him. She
Wow.
pretended to be him.
Did it work?
No, obviously not.
It
But
wasn't.
it was an interesting run to go because the previous season, there were Spice Girls playing,
Oh.
so they
Okay,
were
so
like
it's
hidden
like
among.
okay.
That's why like it could have been a possibility, but nobody know if it was real.
Okay, I don't mind that then.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But like yeah, so it's just a lot of like people choosing who they want to be, and then like and then going along with it and see how they can like gain favoritisms and things like that.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying like pretending to be like a horse that's gains the power of speech would not be a good strategy.
No.
Okay. Just just making sure.
I mean, you can try. I mean, like maybe one day they'll do that. Who the fuck knows?
How
But
legendary would it be if I won doing that?
it would be kind of funny actually.
Right? That would just...
Like the fact that people know you're just not real. You're probably a person, but you're just pretending.
But
to be
I'm still so like heartwarming and earnest that they they want to trust me.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly
Of
that.
course.
I wonder, like me and Zach also talked about what it would be like if we both went on, like one of us went on the circle and we pretended to be the other person. Like I'll pretend I'm Zach, or Zach will pretend I'm me, or something like that. And how well we can like.
Why would you do that?
Because people have done that.
But they don't know Zach.
No, nobody knows Zach. But like the point is like, if I go off playing as Zach, right, I can pretend like I'm a single bachelor and like
Mm-hmm.
I can talk sports with the dudes, but I can like flirt it up with the girls.
Oh, I see.
And then with Zach, if he plays as me, then he can talk like whatever with the girls and then flirt with the guys. It's like that's
That
how
could be
people
fun.
play their strategy. Yeah, that's how people play their strategies, kind of, sort of like. Um, so there's like plenty of ways like how things end up being. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So that's why it's kind of interesting.
Have you checked out the show that I recommended to you, The Devil's Plan?
No, I haven't yet.
Because that has a lot of like mind gamey stuff to it, but also like alliances, like like power of trust kind of thing. But they're like it's not just that. They're also like trying to solve like puzzles and like escape room type things.
Oh,
It's a solid ass show.
that sounds interesting because I'm gonna be going to an escape room tomorrow.
Oh.
Fuck.
Good luck. How do you think you're gonna do? Are you like the one who gets all the clues and shit?
I've done like 2 escape rooms now, and I've only completed 1.
Oh.
So it's a 50-50 chance of how things are gonna go.
Were you like valuable in the completion of the first one?
No, it wasn't the first one that I completed.
Or the second one, whichever.
I think I want to say I hope I was valuable. I don't remember.
Okay.
It was so obscure, to be honest. I think it was like a Houdini themed escape room.
Okay.
It was okay, honestly. It was like in a mall with like small square rooms and shit like that with stuff in it. So it was okay. I think this time around we're gonna do the haunted hotel.
Ooh,
so we'll see how that goes.
spooky.
Yeah, for spooky month.
Yeah, my like ability to do those depends like on the people in the room with me. Cause like if it's like a small group of people that I trust, I do really well. But if it's like too many people like all trying to talk and like make decisions at the same time, I like kind of just like don't want to be there. You know?
I think that's what's gonna happen to me because it's gonna be like 8 people with me.
Oh, yeah. At that point, I'm just like, all right, whatever you guys want to do.
I'm probably just gonna end up being in a corner looking at something.
Yeah,
yeah.
You just like try and like solve one obscure puzzle, like,
Yeah, even though I'm pretty sure everything is linked together, which is how escape room.
Pretty much.
I guess we'll see. I mean, it was just a thought for team building with my coworkers.
Oh no, with coworkers.
I know.
I don't want to solve high stress puzzles with coworkers.
I feel like I was being ambitious by doing this just because I was like, I don't.
Was it your idea?
It was my idea because I was like, am I gonna plan another happy hour that we always do, or do I want to do something different?
Okay.
And this is what I chose.
You should have the happy hour before this. It'll help.
Oh, we are happy hour.
Yeah, let's go.
We're gonna have happy hour before this and probably after this. So we'll
Hell
see.
yeah. You have 2 happy hours and a sandwich in the middle is sad hour.
Oh yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. We'll see how it goes though. I mean, I'm hoping it goes well and
Sure,
like,
I'm sure
my
it'll be
planning
fine.
went out well.
Yeah.
We'll see. But even aside from that, like I think like it's been a quite the interesting month with everything that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Love is Blind finishing, and then Comic-Con happening, and then next month it's gonna be Anime NYC, and then like,
Yep.
you know, it's quite the month, and I hope that like animes come out this month are gonna be good, because I feel like at some points they're like, Spy Family was good, don't get me wrong, but like I think season 2 is kind of like it wasn't as hitting as season 1.
Like, see the second half of season 1, you mean, or the like
Oh yeah, the
what's?
second half of season 1,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I agree with that. I was like, also, I kind of fell off the boat with it. Like, after a couple episodes, I think I just like missed one, and then I just never bothered to like re-catch up.
Dude,
What?
you gotta catch up.
It's, I don't know. I feel like the plot is like simple enough that I can just start watching season 2.
No, how are you gonna meet Borf?
I met Borf.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. I like most of the important stuff I feel like happens, but maybe I'll like look back into it if season 2 is good.
I feel like Spy Family definitely had its hype, and now it's kind of like died off a little bit. You know what I mean? That's why like I'm hoping this season animes are gonna be good. Like JJK, I feel like it's always like is not without a shadow of a doubt it's gonna be good.
Yep.
And then you have now you have Attack on Titan that's supposed to be finishing
Oh
up
my
now.
god. I had someone.
So it'll be
Mhm.
what?
No, I
You
had
have-
someone message me on Discord today. He's like, "Is Attack on Titan finished?" I'm like, "Nah, I don't think so." He's like, "Fuck, I'm gonna die before this show ends up being finished."
Oh my gosh. Is that person like watching it or like reading it? What?
They're watching it, but
Oh,
like,
it's gonna be done this season.
yeah, but they are like, "Is it done that yet?" I'm like, "Shit, no, it just started." He's like, "Fuck." Very impatient.
I think it's gonna be such an interesting thing when the anime watchers like finally see what ends up happening, and all this manga reader like, yes,
Yeah, they're like,
yes, yeah. I think that's what's gonna happen, and then you have like, what else do you have coming out now this season?
I haven't really looked, to be honest. Like, I've just been focused on catching up on JJK, which I did right before this episode.
What did you think?
Thug Life. It's great. No, JJK, like, I always really like, you know, like, it's one of the few shows I actually look forward to. Like, I don't know if, like, is the season, like, over, like, next episode? Like, do you know how long it's running?
I don't remember. I
'Cause
just knew it was gonna be like taking a break in the middle and then continuing.
Yeah, okay, because I feel like it definitely can't conclude soon, even though, like, because it's been 12
Yeah,
episodes.
I mean, some animes I think run to 16.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, it can't conclude because it has to finish the Shibuya arc.
Yeah, there's still a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah, I know.
So, hopefully that happens. That detective show,
Oh yeah,
was that this season or was that previous season?
it's this season. I only like vaguely saw it, something about it, and I was like, oh, this might be interesting. Like,
Yeah.
something different, you know, doing a little mystery this time around.
That would be nice.
Yeah, so I mean, I can't judge it just yet, just because I haven't even started it. So we'll
Mhm.
see how that one goes. I know people who watch Dr. Stone. Dr. Stone is now back on. I decided to continue with my other trash show, Eminence of the Shadow.
Oh no.
It's a wonder. I just can't not watch it because it's so like funny cringe. The main character is just like such a funny cringe for me that I'm like, I gotta just see where this goes. Like all
Yeah.
he wants to do is just be an NPC or some shit, and like, but he just keeps like ending up in these situations where like, but he wants to be like, he wants to be NPC, but at the same time he doesn't want to be NPC because he wants to be the best in the world or some shit.
Oh my
So it's
god.
like such an interesting and funny thing he does because he just finds very like generic lines the most entertaining thing to say, and like the way he names some of his like moves and shit like that. I just remember watching a clip of him doing like this one move that's like practically like the atomic bomb, And
Oh my.
it was just like he said it in English too, like in English with like a Japanese like obvious
Of
accent
course.
to it, and I was just like dying laughing at how funny it was because it was just like I can't. It was just so funny. I mean, obviously it's like degenerate in its own little way because you got like girls who is simping over him and yada yada yada. But like aside from all that shit, I just thought it was like the funniest shit to watch.
Yeah. So I mean, everyone's allowed to watch a little bit of trash. That's fine.
And I know it's like literally mine, and I can't. And so like there was an announcement saying that Konosuba is coming out again, so I'm
Oh,
excited for that. I don't think it's
okay.
this season, but like it's sometime maybe. I believe is they were announcing it for next year.
Next. Okay. Well, that's still
Yeah,
exciting for Konosuba fans.
I know, and I feel like you should watch it, but yet you don't like
It
it.
every time I try to watch it, it doesn't grab me. I'm sorry.
You just gotta give it some time.
How much time do I have to give it?
Enough.
Oh, okay. Well, how much time did it take you? Were you like instantly grabbed by it?
I always do my 3 episode rule, obviously.
Three
So by
episode?
episode three, yeah. So by episode 3, I was like, "This is fucking hilarious. I'm continuing."
Yeah, I might have done like I think I saw episode one like 3 times because other people be like, "Yo, let's start. Like, you gotta watch this. Here, I'll watch it with you." And I'm like, it's the same episode again. Hooray!
You just gotta get past the first episode. Like, yeah, it's an isekai, and the guy's like kind of degenerate
Yeah, I might
kind of
need more
people.
than 3 episodes because of those two aspects. I have a huge natural resistance to isekais.
Fair enough. Maybe like I think like you just have to like find a character that you like, because I think like all the characters are kind of like funny in their own little way for me, and that's why like I very much enjoy watching it.
Yeah.
It's like it's like my type of humor too, where it's like it's perverted, it's stupid, it's like it's just like my type of humor. That's why I like it so much.
Yeah, to be fair, I haven't met the other two main characters yet.
Oh yeah, the little explosion girl and the sadistic. Is
Uh,
sadistic the one that you like to get hurt?
no, masochist.
Okay, and the masochist knight.
Yeah, I heard about the masochist night. So,
Dude, it's so funny.
yeah,
It's
we'll
like
see how
I
that
think
goes.
like I think the episode that really grabbed me that I died laughing in was like when they went to like a different town and everyone was trying to coerce him to like joining their cult.
Oh,
It was like the funniest thing because they even got like a little girl to do like trying to coerce
oh
him
my
into a
god.
cult.
Was this
So
fucking
yeah,
Baltimore?
maybe.
Uh, just reminds me of The Wire.
Oh my gosh.
It's a good show.
Yeah, have you guys finished it?
We finally finished it after like we finished like up to the last episode essentially, and then like a year later we finally watched the last episode.
Oh gosh, I remember you guys. I was like so surprised when you guys like The Wire. I was like, are you guys still watching this?
It's cuz the last season was a slog. So it took us there was a lot of hesitance to like watch another episode, whereas like in seasons like 1 and 3 and stuff, like it was like, all right, another, all right, I can stay up, all right, I don't need to work until like 7, let's watch another, like kind of shit. Whereas like in season 5 we're just like, yeah, all right, I'm feeling a bit tired.
Got it. Fair enough. I mean, I feel like a lot of shows kind of just start dying down like towards the later end anyway.
Yeah, like when an hour long show is like a bit of a slog to get through, it's like it takes a lot of inertia to like convince yourself and for other people to watch it.
Yeah, but you know what's a good watch?
What? Tell me.
Ted Lasso.
I'm almost done with season 2 of Ted Lasso.
Yay! It's so wholesome. I love it.
See,
It makes my heart so warm.
Ted Lasso kind of upset me in season
Aww.
2 because
Yeah, which part?
the part where in 3 episodes in a row they kept talking about father issues,
Oh,
and I was like, I don't really want to like go through this with you, television show, right now, because I was like watching it with a friend too, and the friend's like, you got quiet, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I think I'm going to bed, I'm feeling a bit tired. So it's like I was waiting because usually when they do this, they had like a buffer episode where like things are a little bit more wholesome, but they didn't.
Nope.
It was 3 episodes of pain.
Yep.
That was rough.
I mean, I think the father episode kind of hit me a little hard too, but like, I guess it hits me hard in a different way, in a sense where like, you know, it makes me miss my dad about like, even like through all the hardship and like pain that it brought losing him, in my own way. Like, I think in the very end of it, like, so you have your father episode that like makes you kind of face towards like one of your parents, and then, you know, it makes you like kind of like, I think in the end of the day, it really makes you kind of like reflect on the relationship you have, right?
Yes,
It's
yes,
like
it did.
so that's why I
Yes,
was
sir.
but that's what I mean. Like, going back as to why I really like the Elf show is like, it's one of those shows that really pivots your point of view about something, because it like brings it up to your attention, and then you're like questioning, like you're watching it, but you're also like kind of questioning it for yourself too. Like, is this something like that's happening right now for me, and things like that. That's like the kind of shows that I like, and that's why I really like Ted Lasso, because they end up talking a lot about good. They talk about a lot of good topics, and like that's not really talked about well in mainstream media, you know?
Yeah, it almost feels like like these shows are like kind of checking up on you, like the viewers.
Yeah.
Like, how are you doing? It's just like,
Yeah.
and it's like an interesting phenomena.
It's like your own therapy session through a show.
Yeah, except I was not in the mood, so I was like, I'm fine, Ted Lasso. Shut up. You have father issues.
He did.
He did.
Though.
He did.
But yeah.
Now it's back to wholesome.
No, yeah. It's always gonna go back to wholesome in some sort of fashion.
It's good. It's good. Except for that little fucking coach dude, Nate. I want to punt that dude across the fucking field right now.
Oh,
He's been a dickhead the whole season.
You're on that part.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yes, good show. Very clearly, I'm very invested.
Good, because you should be. It's a great show to watch if you can watch it.
Yes, as you should.
Yeah. I think there's like this meme going on right now with Ted Lasso, where like there's like I guess there's a sportscaster that he's with, or somebody he's with, and then they have a green screen behind him, and then she's like, "Don't do it," and he's like, "Go do it, go to your heart's content," and everything like that. Like, that's the meme that's going on right now. That's what made me like remember about Ted Lasso, and I was like, ah, what a great show.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to we'll talk more about that once I finish the whole series, because that's definitely something that, like, you know, if you have watched it, you probably love it, and if you haven't watched it, you probably should watch it.
I agree. I think it's like one of the few shows that I will like highly recommend to everybody and anybody. Like, aside from the fact that like it did really well in terms of like nominations, and I think it has won its award or something like that. But even then, like, even if it hasn't, nomination is also great, and I think like it's not even long. I think it's only I'm pretty sure it's 3 seasons long, and each season is like what, 10 episode about?
Yeah, 10 episodes, like 30 to 40 minute episodes.
Yeah, and I think like they do such a good they do really good with the character arcs, in my opinion. Like, it's not just focused on Ted. You have all these other characters that's around.
Keely.
And it's like, oh yeah, Haley.
Keely.
Like, there's like such a, it's so real in a sense too. You know what I mean? Like, human relationship about this show is very real. Like, not everything is gonna be perfect and going up ways, and then sometimes things might go sideways and it's unexpected, and you know, dealing with real world things too. It's like everything is portrayed in the show in a sense, you know.
There's also soccer sometimes.
I know, there's also soccer sometimes.
See, I was hesitant to watch it because I was like, I don't really care that much about soccer. But
me neither.
Yeah, it turns out that's not really what it's all about.
Nope. And I think like the one thing that won me over was the fact that you realize that Ted makes the biscuit.
Oh yeah, that was a great thing.
Yeah, I was like that. I feel like if I could ever meet someone like Ted, I would like cherish him for life. You know, it's like such a rare personality to find, like him.
Oh yeah. No, especially so like unlike flinchable too. Like he's like it's very rare that he's like not friendly and encouraging, but when he isn't, like you know like something is wrong.
Yeah, him and then Beard,
Oh my god,
Coach
Beard.
Beard is like such a hilarious combo.
Yeah. He's the only one who truly understands the beard.
I know, but also like he's the only one that actually knows the game of soccer.
Yeah. No, I really like whenever Beard is in a room without Ted, and you just get to see how awkward he is with everybody else.
Yeah.
Like those are my favorite moments to see. Like, oh, do these people like if he's with someone who's like equally as like I guess like stoic, he'll be like they'll have like a good vibe. But like if he's with someone else, he'll just be like, mm-hmm,
Yeah, I know.
mm-hmm.
It's great. Beard is great. I think like every single one of the characters, the way they like are portrayed, I felt like it's such a they have such a good character to them. Like, you know, like you have Jamie who was like the cocky superstar
Yeah,
and everything like that. And then you had what's his name?
Roy Kent.
Yeah, Roy Kent,
I love Roy
the
Kent.
I know, I love him too. It's just like he's just like the masculine character that I always loved.
Yep.
Um, but like how he like loves his niece is like such a different side of him and everything like
He's
that.
like the fucking like teddy bear character where he's like rough on the exterior, but then he's like the softest on the inside.
Exactly, and I think that's what like I think like in terms of depth, obviously your focus is on the main character, but like it's not like these characters are one dimensional either.
No, yeah, like everyone who they actually like give a name and like character arc to, they like, you know, they're fleshed out. They're like they weren't people like just born for the show. Like they had lives before and lives after.
Exactly, and I think that's why like the show itself is very like good because it's like you know it's not like it's unrealistic. Like there's no way it's like there you're gonna probably ever like you can probably meet someone who is like Roy Kent, you know, someone who's
Yeah.
hard, but like it's super sweet to like someone of their relatives, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and then like you can probably meet someone who is like Ted, someone who's like always so genuinely happy, but like probably is broken on the inside for one thing or another. It just doesn't want to
Yeah.
put the pressure on someone,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And I think like Jamie, we all know like that cocky person, but like he's just cocky just to prove something.
Yeah, because like he has to be, you
Yeah,
know, because the alternative would be him crumbling.
exactly. So I think like that's why the show itself is such a good show for its own reasons.
Oh man, I just thought about when like how Ted and his wife, like if you haven't watched the show, don't listen to this. Um, but oh god, like the disillusion of that was just so rough because it's like a no, like it's just shit that happens and it sucks.
I know. I think like that hit me very hard because I feel like I've been if you ever been in like a really long relationship and like you just know or feel like that emptiness, not because you don't love somebody, but it's just because like it's just not there anymore. Like it's the hardest
Mm,
feeling to ever portray and it's the hardest feeling to ever like explain, feel, and on top of that having to explain to somebody that is not gonna really understand it,
yeah.
you know?
And
Yeah.
like on the like receiving end, like just like having to accept that, you know, also very difficult.
Yeah, exactly. I think like all of us always wants like a clear-cut answer as to why something
Yeah, like
happened
what
and
did I
things
do
like that.
wrong?
Yeah,
But it's nothing.
but
And
it's
Ted
never.
did accept it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I think like it does a very good job in exploring relationships and
Yeah.
people.
God. Poor Ted.
I mean,
He better end up happy by the end, or I'm gonna.
you know what? Throw your computer out the window or
I
something.
was thinking about that, but I didn't see how that would help the situation. I was like, I'm gonna go storm the Richmond Stadium or whatever. I'm gonna storm the set. I'm gonna have my
I
own
mean,
writer strike.
I think like I mean, it's been like about a less than a year now since season 3 came out, so like people who haven't watched it yet should watch it.
Like me.
Yeah, it's really worth the watch. And then I think like, going back to like the whole talk about like, I feel like Ted is like also one of those shows that I can say that is like, it really sets you to like think about some things in your life. Like
Absolutely.
same with like all the other animes that I was talking about, like it really makes you set to think about something. Like I feel like the only time you can ever enjoy something like this is if you ever really like have one experience something like this in terms of like your like hardship or you're just lost or something like that, or like maybe you are just, aside from being lost, maybe you're just trying to like I said, reset yourself in a certain fashion.
Yeah.
So like I don't think anybody like, as much as I want to recommend Ted Lasso to everybody, because it's like I feel like Ted Lasso is an easier show to get into. Like other animes that are like, it's more like the concept and like the abstractness of it all is like a little bit harder for people to get into. But if you
Yeah, for
are in
sure.
this position, maybe this is like something you would be interested in.
Hmm. Yeah, use art as a way to better yourself.
You know, was another one.
What?
It was like, remember that I was talking to you about this one anime that was like about painting?
Yes. Was that the something blue show?
Yeah, I think it's like called Blue Period.
Blue Period, yes.
That's another good one if you're like, I feel like it's very well directed towards like people who are trying to figure out what career they're trying to do in life, or like
Hmm.
where their aspiration is and what like makes their like soul dance happily and stuff like that. That's another good one to watch.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. Figure out what's gonna make you happy, everybody.
I think, yeah, like I think a lot of people have to come to realize that, you can either make your job enjoyable or you can make your job miserable. Like
Don't do
you
the
can either,
second one.
well, like, and it's like, yeah, of course nobody wants to do the second one, but it's just sometimes end up that way, right? But I think like either that you have a different outlook on your job, or you like are actually in a job that you truly are happy with.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely it's important to know like the distinction between like is this just a bad environment or am I being bad to the environment kind of thing? Like am I looking
Mhm.
at this unfairly?
Yeah, exactly. Like and it applies to everything else too, right? Like
Oh, for
the
sure.
and like relationships and like, yourself
Yeah, anything
pretty
you get
much.
involved in, like, friendships, clubs, anything where it's like, am I the problem or is the problem where I'm at?
Yeah.
So I kind of
Yeah.
like erred on the side of like always thinking I was an issue, but then it was just like, no, sometimes shit just sucks and you don't like it,
Yeah. Exactly.
and that's not, and
And
that's fine.
yeah, and it's fine, but I think like if you recognize it, you always have the option to change, right?
Yeah, that's the
And that's
key
not
thing.
what the people in Love and Blind did.
No, no, they didn't, but they
I,
better fix
they
it.
will. I
Otherwise,
don't know if they will.
we're done.
I
Gonna watch a
don't
new
know. We'll
show.
see. Uh, I need a new show.
Love is deaf.
Uh, sure.
You gotta talk through charades to get to form a connection.
It's like Love on the Spectrum at this point.
That's a good show, except for the fact that it always ends in sadness. Like really wanted to recommend those shows to people, but they just made me very upset by the end.
No, but then there are people who end up with somebody.
No, but then it'll show like an end title card where it's like they broke up, and now they're both single again.
Wait, I thought there was one couple that stayed together.
I mean, not that I could remember, but I mean, it's very possible you're correct. But in general, that show was a huge downer.
No pun intended.
Oh my god. All right. Well, that was the One Brain Cell podcast, everybody. Hope you enjoyed and learned something. And next week maybe we'll talk more about the new anime if this is coming out this season. Maybe we'll sample some anime and tell you what's good and what's bad. It could be fun.
Bye.
Bye bye.